Paging George Clooney, paging George Clooney. You have a mob of angry lefties at your door. But take heart, George, for you are not the only one. It turns out the left is very angry at the Hollywood elites who decided to tell Joe Biden to get out of there, leave, stay away from the campaign in the White House. That's right, folks. The backlash to the Harris loss is coming for Tinseltown. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the place that makes sense of Holly Weird because we know them better than they know, yes, themselves. Today, we're talking about the fact that the left is very, very angry at Hollywood. We'll explain why. You'll love the story. But folks, all we ask before we get started with a panel that knows the whole thing top to bottom is that you click the like button. And without further ado, here's what's new in a torn apart Tinseltown. Jonas, it turns out that Hollywood, well, they're losing their minds because things did not go the way they wanted, and they were heavily involved. Specifically today, we're going to be talking about George. Which George? Not Washington. This is out of Politico. It's an old one. We're going to use it to set the context of the stage. How Hollywood quickly turned on Joe Biden. And remember, this article was written before the election. It's written at a time when they think they're saving the election. A month after throwing the president a major LA fundraiser, stars like George Clooney are calling on him to step aside. This came out July 11th of this year. Just a month ago, some of Hollywood's biggest stars were gathered in downtown LA, shelling out more than $30 million for President Joe Biden as they munched on popcorn and listened to Julia Roberts, Jimmy Kimmel again, and George Clooney croon his praises. Fast forward to this week, and Tinseltown is singing a much different tune. Clooney's New York Times op-ed on Wednesday was the starkest example yet of the rapid about-face within the film industry as bold-faced names joined the chorus of calls for Biden to step aside after the first presidential debate, including filmmaker Rob Reiner, animation heir Abigail Disney, and Netflix head Reed Hastings. The Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe Big Blanking Dale Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020, Clooney wrote. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. And what this goes on to talk about, and it's from a positive standpoint, is that Hollywood was stepping in to have Joe step on out. And Politico writes glowingly about these celebrities and what they're doing and why it will save democracy. Fast forward today, and of course it's not going to come out of Politico because they don't want to talk about it. This one's out of Breitbart. It says Democrats rage at George Clooney for pushing Biden out following Trump's blowout victory. It's all his fault. Truly a man of many sorrows now. Here we go, folks. Oh, brother, where art thou, George? Simon Kent says, George Clooney is being attacked by despairing fans in the wake of Vice President Kamala Harris's humiliating defeat in the 2024 election campaign after the actor demanded President Joe Biden step aside in her favor. As Breitbart News reported, the Ocean's 11 actor, 63 years old, notably penned an op-ed for the New York Times in July, where he called on Biden, 81, to abandon his presidential campaign, writing, "We are not going to win in November with this president." He continued, "This isn't only my opinion. This is the opinion of every senator and Congress member and governor who I've spoken with in private." The lifelong Democrat called on the party to find a replacement candidate. Clooney later praised an obedient Biden for being selfless when he announced he would be stepping aside on July 21st, leaving Harris to embark on a fated 107-day campaign to try to overcome Trump. Critics are now offering their sarcastic thanks in the wake of Harris' demise. From Josh Hartley, "Thank you, George Clooney." From Alt NOAA, "Someone bring me George Clooney. We need to have a talk." From Completely Fed Up, "I would like to take a moment to thank George Clooney for shoving the most incompetent candidate down America's throat to ensure a Trump victory." From Fritz Dielman, "Trump should not forget to thank the Hollywood celebrities, especially George Clooney." Of course, Clooney was not the only figure to call for Biden to step down. Author Stephen King, former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, also Barbara Streisand, all were calling and commending Biden for stepping out of the race. Now, well, turns out they're not racing to get back on social media because people are blazing a trail of anger towards them. Jonas, I'll start with you on this one. Your thoughts on George Clooney and the rest of the Hollywood elites really entering into the political fray? And now they're afraid to come back online because people are furious. Do you think, Jonas, that maybe if they had left this alone, maybe Biden gets Pennsylvania?
No, I don't think anyone cares what these people think anymore. I think this really speaks to how I want to say maybe 2019 might have been the last year that people really cared what a celebrity that disagreed with them had to say about any number of political issues. Things went so nuts in the years after that, and people got so vitriolic, and we had full access to celebrities on social media, and they let us know how dumb they are, for one. So there's no illusion of a new Cary Grant that's got a really cool way of talking, or I'm trying to be kind to what George Clooney's image used to be here. When he steps into the field and tries to tell everybody what they should think about an issue, they're not seeing the image of the characters that George Clooney plays. They're not seeing Danny Ocean. They're not seeing I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything good that George Clooney has done. What they're probably seeing, which this is hilarious to me, is that moment in Hail Caesar when it's finally revealed what the big thing they were hiding was an illicit relationship between a guy who was supposed to be the I'm not even going to say Cary Grant. I'm going to say the Rock Hudson of his day, and the Ralph Fiennes director character. There was blackmail to be had out in Hollywood. I think that's what people see when they look at somebody like George Clooney, the character that he played in Hail Caesar, if anyone actually went to go see Hail Caesar.
Speaking of the Rock Hudson of our day, Jonas, please welcome to the stage Tom from Midnight's Edge.
I think you just said something about Tom that you maybe didn't mean to say.
No, of course not. Tom,
I'm like 25% gay. That's okay. And I will not stand by when you guys are saying these things about George Clooney. He helped us win this election by getting Joe out.
Jonas, you'll know that I did not call Tom Liberace, okay? You'll know that I did not
call him Liberace. You just called him Rock Hudson.
No, we would never.
So I'm closeted gay. That's all.
Listen, sometimes you have an awkward, fruity kind of segue. Tom, though, tell us, Hollywood is steaming mad at George Clooney because he stepped in with that op-ed. What do you think about it? You place any blame on these celebrities for what happened? I mean, you love him.
Like I said, I thank George Clooney for what he did. If anything, I mean, look, he was the only one who was smart enough to finally come out and say, somebody's got to say something about this. Are we all going to be this, oblivious to the facts? And maybe it was too little too late. Because, the Democrats probably could have come up with somebody who might have given Trump a bigger run for his money. But at this point, I think I don't think it mattered who they had. I think the American people had spoke in droves this election. And popular vote, electoral vote. You look at most states, it's like red across the entire state except for metropolitan areas. Middle America spoke out this time. And I'm not even going to get into all the conspiracy stuff. But as far as the celebrity goes, I think if anything, they're just coping with the fact that the celebrity doesn't mean nearly as much as it used to. They don't have the influence or the sway that they used to. Because, you could go back to Clinton and say that Arsenio Hall helped him get elected.
That's a good point.
And there's other times you probably could go back and look at pinpoint certain areas where things like this happen. But no, I don't think any of these celebrities have the sway with the human population that they used to. And I say that unironically because, they are on another world. And I think the media is also coming to that conclusion finally that they're realizing,
they're struggling with that.
Disconnected.
They're struggling with that realization. It's like a struggle session watching the news media, Good Morning America, watching any of the major channels, The View. They're really having a hard time recognizing that they're talking and nobody's listening.
Yeah, and they're out of touch. They're completely out of touch with the masses. I even seen like the Jimmy Kimmel and Steve Colbert address, and it's like, are you guys that disconnected that you don't realize that the majority of the people that you're even trying to talk to anymore aren't listening to you, or they're laughing at you, not with you?
Right. And the strategy that you've been using is not the strategy you should be using. Erica, do the celebrities hold any cachet with you, or do you think that the outrage at George Clooney is an outrage that no longer works because the message didn't work?
Now, I was raised in a Cuban family, so we were taught you absolutely do not learn government and politics through celebrities, through Hollywood.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
whoa,
stupid.
that's a good point. Erica, for those who don't understand the historical and geographical context of that, can you explain?
My dad is from Cuba. My grandparents migrated from a communist country, and we were raised.
What went down in Cuba, Erica?
Castro
The
went down
economy.
in Cuba. The economy went down. Poverty came. You couldn't even have an ice cream truck without the government coming after you. And that's a story. Actually, it's a really funny story. I'll let him tell it one day.
But the celebrities of the day, they weren't against Castro. Is that right?
I don't, this is why I want to have a live stream with my dad to get into some of the history of what they went through, because I don't even have all of the information.
Many of them were sympathetic. Many of the crazies in Hollywood back in the day were sympathetic. And that's one of the problems we see today, is that we get some of these wacko weirdos who they don't understand average people. They don't understand geopolitics. And so they will advocate for really dumb, really stupid things. I'll give you an example of this. I think it was last night, Billie Eilish, performing in Nashville, Tennessee, the home of country music, came out in a weepy kind of way and talked about how, you all saw that stuff, talked about how women lost. And I'm thinking, Billie Eilish, do you not understand that you're in one of the reddest cities in the country? Like, even at a Billie Eilish concert in Nashville, Tennessee, there's a good chance that they're all just like, shut up and play. Whisper, sing some more, Billie. All right, let me get your thoughts.
First of all, that was just a dumb thing to do. But here's the mindset of these people in Hollywood, again, as a side effect of having to live out there with these crazies, is that the whole environment caters to them. The media caters to them. The lifestyle caters to them. So they're so used to just their view, and flyover country will tell you what you're supposed to think. So while it's disappointing, it's par for the course with her. I don't think it's going to go over well at all. Dixie Chicks, anybody?
Yeah, I recall that one. It didn't go so well.
Well, and that didn't help them because that was them going right against their main audience, right? Like, you're sitting there, you're saying F, the Republicans. Yep. It's like, you do realize that 90% of the people that listen to you, Dixie Chicks, are Republican, right? Like,
right. And it just shows just the lack of freaking self-awareness that's going on. Well, I won't say lack of self-awareness, let's put it this way,
it's ignorance.
So exactly. It's total ignorance. It's all about me and what I'm trying to tell you what to think.
It's like there's a lack of full understanding of the real consequences of their ideologies. Like if our government were to come in and they have it their way and legislate, that's scary. Like, I'm sorry. You don't have to go that far back in history to even see what, how that plays out. I mean, I'm really just shocked. And I even have immediate family members that voted for Harris. And I'm just sitting here like, I got no words.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of another video of pure excellence and fun. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. That's what we hope you believe we've just done. And why should you believe it? Well, because we've done our very best to make it so. To be true, to be factual, and to do what the mainstream, so-called access journalists simply won't. Folks, you can help share this out across the fruited plains of YouTube by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as we get ready to say sayonara for now, we ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep having fun.